Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is feeling good. Welcome back to day 2 masterclass. Good evening, all. Good evening, good evening, warm evening to all. I think everyone is so energy. Everyone is arrived to this live with a much kind of energy to learn artificial intelligence. I hope so. Yes, good evening, all. And I hope everyone has had a good kind of experience during day 1 intro session. So today we are going to start with day 2 regarding with Python, and here we will be able to get that answer why Python for AI. So that answer I have to provide for everyone. I hope so. Yes. Okay. Fine. So once again, I welcome everyone for this particular 30 days masterclass, and I hope everyone will be enjoying. So we have completed day 1 introduction to the artificial intelligence. We have discussed such a kind of long kind of function. So what and all are the functions of artificial intelligence in different domains. So today we will be just going one step higher. So like this we will be having some 30 steps. So we are going to the step 2 to start with the programming language, and throughout that particular programming language, generally what we will teach inside the programming language, like the basic syntaxes and all. Okay, so today you will be learning somewhat kind of different, why we are using Python as specific kind of programming language over here along with the basic syntaxes. And I would also like to provide you some kind of assignments. So with that assignment you will be able to post into our community. So through that you will be having some exposure, and I will also will be happy like you have just followed and you are also able to learn through the live itself. Simple assignments only. So I hope today's class will be more enjoyable for everyone. Let us start. Today we will be completely discussing regarding what is Python, why Python, why Python for artificial intelligence, Python hardware supports, and basic syntax programming. So here Python hardware supports, you will be having question mark. Why he is linking this programming with hardware? What are the supports should be provided by the hardware? So those things and all you will be having now of the question. So that question you will be getting a very wonderful answer. So through that we will be able to accomplish what is this artificial intelligence. Then why electronic peoples are learning this? Why electrical peoples are learning this? And why software is combining to the project of hardware? So this kind of questions and all you will be just getting solved today. And regarding this you will get a 70 to 80 percentage of idea, like why we are going for hardware oriented AI jobs and software oriented AI jobs. So what is Python? Python, it is nothing but a programming language like C, C++, Java, .NET. Like this kind of many kinds of programming structures and languages are there in our environments for the techie persons and those who are willing to become a techie persons. This will be a particular challenge. What are the programming languages available? From that we are selecting only the Python. right? So whenever we are selecting, we have to know what is Python. So Python, it is a common programming language, object oriented programming language, which has only interpreter. So what is that particular interpreter? Then we have to know what is a compiler. So like, first let us see what is a particular compiler. Whenever if you are going for a compiler process, first we will be providing that input of the data. Okay, it will be nothing but our own programming part. So through that we will be just generating a particular source code. Okay, input, and from that we will be providing a source code, and through that particular source code we will be having one more process known as the compilation. What is the procedure of the compilation? Okay, very simple. Like, so here I am just providing the notes. So the compilation procedure, the first one, to execute the whole program, also known as pre-execution procedure. Okay, pre-execution procedure. Then the next part is to display the errors. These two are that particular function which is having inside a compilation part. Now after that we can see this compiled output as object code. So what is this object code? The end application. For example, if you are just opening an Excel sheet, okay, opening a Microsoft Excel, so that Microsoft Excel is a end software which we are going to use. If we double click, the software gets opened, we can follow the process. The same way, if we just go for a particular development part of Microsoft Excel, means we have the structure of codes to be done. Okay, so whether those structure of codes are executable or there are no errors, for that particular verification we need this compilation process. This is known as the particular functions of compiler. So here where the compilers will be used means C, C++, Java, etc. So these kind of programming languages and all, it will be using for the compiler section. Now the next part, it is nothing but interpreter. So interpreter, very simple. We have to provide input, then again here instead of this source code and compilation, here we will be having only one block, that is interpreter block. So this interpreter, the meaning itself we can just justify in the form of interruptions. So whenever the error is there, therefore the interruption will be occurred. So finally object code will be there, right? So input, interpreter, object code. So here for compilation I have given you some sort of rules, but in form of interpretation there is only one rule, like if error is detected, the program will be stopped up over there and that line number will be displayed. Interrupts when error is identified. Okay, so this complete process only inside the Python it takes place. Whenever if I throw any of the error, it stops at that particular place, then only it will move for the next line. Until I rectify that particular error, I won't be able to move for the other line. But whereas if you go for the compilation process in C or C++ means it will execute that whole project, okay, and if error is there means those error as well as the warnings will be displayed over there. In this line this error, in this line this error. So each and every one by one we have to execute it, like sorry, we have to rectify it. After that rectification if we run means the output will be displayed. But here in interpreter it is not like that. If we complete one line rectification, the next line whether the error is there or not, after running the code only we will be able to know. So that is a major difference between interpreter as well as the compiler part. Java uses compiler. Any doubts here can be posted. Yes, my dear friends, I am providing in maximum voice. So kindly check your side link also. Santosh Rekman, I am not sure what is that particular Swift whichever you are expecting over here. Yes, Python uses interpreter. Yes, object code is also known as bytecode. Yes, sir. Of course. Which one is best then? Both are best, but based on the application, whatever we are going to develop, we have to look for. An interpreter will have compiler, but a compiler will not have interpreter. Yeah, that's what. Here, the source code is taken in a complete process. If you have 10 lines of code in C++, so that 10 lines of code will be executed, then only it will be throwing out where and all the error is there. Line 3, line 4, line 7, line 10, these portions and all you are having error. Like that it will be displayed. But in interpreter, it is not like that. If you have error at the line 3, it will display the line 3. If you rectify that error means the next line 4 error will be thrown. Then and there we have to clear the error. That is the motto of interpreter. Okay, fine. So everyone is clear regarding towards this compiler and interpreter and what is that particular Python. So now for everyone it is clear. So the next portion here we have to see why Python. So this why Python, I will be able to explain you in two different methods. Okay, rather than going with only the technical part, we have also should know why that particular thing it has been programming side. So for that, it is a high level programming language available in many platforms, fast to learn, implementing complex logics are very few lines of codes. Okay, so this is one of the basic kind of structure where everywhere you will be able to see. So this high level programming language, like it is an OOPS format only, object oriented programming. We can create softwares, we can create executable files. So from that, the many of the softwares we will be able to collect it. So that is one kind of advantage. Then available in many platforms. What are the platforms? Hardware and software. So hardware we will be seeing in detail. Software means Anona Navigator, ideally Google Colab, Jupyter Notebook, etc. Then implementing complex logics. So this neural networks, machine learning algorithms, probability, statistics. So these kind of tough mathematics, we are just converting into a programming language, and this programming language we are taking into the worldwide for a complete automation process. Then fast to learn and develop. If we know that particular syntax and if we know that mathematical formula, then we are easy to apply a or build a particular software over here. Let it be AI, let it be IoT, let it be cybersecurity, anything. So that's why it is fast to learn and develop. We have to know the syntax as well as the mathematics. Now many of them are asking whether we can use this particular without knowledge on Python. So for that, this is the answer. You can start to learn the knowledge on Python because it is quite simple. Okay, fine. So any other doubts regarding this means you can just post it, because next we will be just going for the somewhat detailed part. So that's when I'm just giving you some sort of gap over here. Tech talks. OOPS is nothing but object oriented programming language. For some firmwares and structures, C++ is needed. Actually, to be in a high latent format, the C++ method also we can write it in Python. That's what. Yes, definitely. DSA required more in AI. Python is sensitive. I have not heard like that kind of question. I'm not sure what you are thinking regarding the word sensitive at this place. Yes, to get the PPT, you can contact us. The number and the description, everything you can just see in this particular chat. Okay, fine. Python is not written in C, it is written in C++. Most of the libraries you can see in C++ over there. Raja Dinesh, actually, Python masterclass is parallelly going on from our side. So if you just look for 6 to, I think, yeah, 6 to 7 p.m. It is completely regarding that Python only Python. Here, this Python I will be just taking only for this particular day. Yes, okay, fine. So the next part here, we have created some sort of mind map regarding the Python. Okay, so this is the second point for why Python. Why we are using the Python means Python, it is quite accessible for this much kind of technical functions. Let us start from the right side top. Web development, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics, automation and testing software, graphic user interface, image processing, quantum computing and blockchain. So throughout this particular section here, if we just go in detail of each and every parts, like, so if you go for the web development, Bottle.py is a framework, Flask is another framework for localhost purpose, CerryPy is another framework, Pyramid, Django, Web2Py. So in this, many of the particular process we can say as front end or back end or server, which integrates towards the web page also. So for those kind of sections, we can say this as a web development part, okay, which is done through the Python programming language. Then the next technology like Internet of Things. So most commonly we can see that Amazon Web Service and Microsoft Azure is widely used kind of clouds. I am not saying these are the only clouds, but these clouds majorly support for AI as well as IoT purpose. So this IoT, rather than accessing with embedded C or C++, many of them have started to use through Python. Okay, so this Python oriented thing, how they have started to implement, we'll be able to know once when we started with the, and now we are starting with Python hardware procedures. Then let us come with the artificial intelligence. So this artificial intelligence, it is also relating towards the Python. So why this Python artificial intelligence we are highlighting? So for that you can get the answer for the question why Python for artificial intelligence. Then the next portion, it is nothing but robotics, ROS. So inside the robotics, mostly it is related towards the motors, controllers, sensors and programming. So this controllers itself, we have two types now, working with embedded C, working with Python. So if you are going with C means we will be able to control the robot front and back based on the command. Now everything has been changed. Now that changed portion, here it completely comes under like automation. Automation in the sense ADAS or autonomous cars, automatic wiping or cleaning robot, then Amica humanoid robot. So those kind of things and all completely works in the form of robotic operating system. Like to work the robot, we will be having an operating system. So through that particular part, whatever the sensor, let it be the lidar, radar, anything. So those kind of sensors, if we take as an input, so that input here we will be able to create it through the Python programming language to access the cloud point value or to access the machine vision, machine learning or deep learning. So this complete artificial intelligence, if we directly drop into this particular ROS means, therefore it comes under the fully autonomous robot for a desired application. So for that also this Python will be integrated. Then the most important part like automation and testing software. If we are moving on towards this automation and testing softwares, therefore these and all the particular additional supports we require. Splinter, Selenium, Behave, 5-in Auto, Automagica, Beautiful Soup, PDF Miner. So this each and every kind of support, it plays a major role for file handling for automation and testing software. What is the purpose of automation and testing? A simple answer, to make your jobs simpler. For example, here in our industry, the Pantech uses this automation and testing software for WhatsApp promotion as well as mail promotion, including certificate generation also we have used this. But due to that particular some automation errors, we have just switched it only a pause for the certificate generation. So this automation and testing software, once when we are working over there, means how this applied for the WhatsApp as well as the mail. So here we are having that particular concern numbers or concern particular data. That data we are calling into a particular software. So that data for WhatsApp, it is nothing but the mobile numbers. For mail, it is mail ID. And then we will be posting the content. And if we just provide to send, means by using the Selenium. So through that Selenium, we will be able to send the data automatically to n number of persons. The same way, if I am using IoT SMT protocol, so through that SMTP, I will be able to send mail for n number of persons. So this particular sections only, here we will be able to integrate each and every parts of different automation inside the software as well as testing inside the software. Then for your kind knowledge sharing, this PyWin Auto is also one side of automation and testing, which is used to activate the Windows functions. For example, if you want to make your voice recognition or speech recognition with Windows software, means this PyWin Auto will be helping you. So through that PyWin Auto, it will be automatically accessing for shutdown or accessing a command prompt. So those kind of sections and all we will be able to integrate it. So this process only it takes in the form of automation and testing of software with the help of Python programming language. Now let us come to the other part of automations. Not automation, like technology. So blockchain, the security level which creates the security for cyber security, or let it be for the web page, the additional level of security created with the help of blockchain. Then quantum computing. Here I would like to say that this is not yet invented. So still the process is going on. But to enhance the performance of a computer and at the same time to interface the artificial intelligence inside a computing, the quantum computing, Python and artificial intelligence will play a major role. Then image processing. So even though here I have just mentioned it as machine learning, deep learning and natural language processing, this machine learning and deep learning completely works with both data science as well as images. So that images I have to process it one by one. For that I can use image processing along with Python. No need to go with any other tool. So for image processing there is one more tool called as MATLAB. So there is no need of going into that tool, and from that we have to execute into the Python. So within a single script I can write it in Python itself, and from that I can take it over towards AI. Then graphic user interface. For each and every kind of technology, if you want to make it as easy user access, means graphic user interface is required. So while compared to other programming languages, Python provides a variety of range like PyQt5 or Tkinter, Abjar. These kind of packages will help you a lot for creating the GUIs. Okay guys, so this is nothing but the short answer for why Python. And I hope with this particular mind map, you guys might have got an idea what is the particular use of Python. So if you understood what is the use of Python, you can just provide a thumbs up, the rate of stars or the rate of thumbs up. So this will be motivating us in order to that you are able to learn a particular kind of programming or the use of a programming language in a short manner. Okay, fine. So Mr. Tech Talks, he is saying that I'm not sure he or she is saying that Java is faster than Python. Java is statistically, and whereas Python is a dynamical language. for beginners is best for AI. Moreover, I suggest you use Lisp language for AI. Anyway, that is a new word like Lisp. I'm not aware of it. So he's saying that Java is faster than Python. I can surely accept that. But whenever if you are going to integrate the technology, that's what I'm saying. Until unless you complete this entire session, you won't be able to know why here I'm promoting for the Python purpose. Okay, still we have to cover two more questions. Python for artificial intelligence, Python supporting hardwares. From that you will be able to know. Yeah, so thank you for that particular number of supports which you have provided. I think now you guys are clear why that particular Python. Yes, guys. Since many of them are like expecting this kind of mind map, so definitely we will be posting this mind map into our site. You can collect it from there. Santosh Lakshman bro, I have not just worked with Python to Android, so I'm helpless for your question. To build websites, software automated tasks. Yes, we can use it. You are saying that it looks like tough. Lasagna summary. It will be tough until you take a step. Once if you start and proceed with the multiple steps, you will find it more easy like me. What tools are to use AI? Here, for this 30 days, we are using the tool as Python. Yes, R programming is different. R programming is entirely different from Python. Don't get confused with that and this. Process robotic operating system. Thank you, Liliva. Is MLDL and NLP inside of AI? Yes. That question you will get one more answer. Provide any PDF format of revision of these classes? Yes, you can approach to us. We will be providing it. How to learn for beginners. Once we complete all these questions, you will get that answer. No, I am going to use ideally. For everything, there is a specific reason. Okay, fine. Then, why Python for artificial intelligence? So that will be our very topmost question. Because previously, during previous session, I have just shown you only that hand gesture and all the particular things, right? That too executed in Python ideally, and throughout I have explained regarding the AI. Now the most important part of our program, why Python for AI. So once when we go for this artificial intelligence, even the artificial intelligence can be written through a complete Java or C++ R programming anywhere. But inside this particular artificial intelligence, like we are having that three different parts: machine learning, deep learning, and natural language processing. So inside this machine learning, we are having three types of learning which we have to know, like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. The same thing if you go for deep learning means ANN, DNN, RNN. Then once when we go for this natural language processing means chatbots, text to speech conversion, and speech recognition. So here for each and every structure, we are having that particular kernel functions or input hardware, everything. Okay, like if you are going for the text to speech conversion or speech recognition means, we are readily available with some of the packages inside the Python. If we install that packages means it automatically collects that particular hardware architecture in whichever the system you are going to execute. Okay, so through that, if you learn the Python, therefore you are able to learn all these particular languages as easy as possible. Okay, if you just tap on the Python, then these many courses are available or these many functions are available. So like if you just tap on the Python means, if you want to learn web development, you want to learn Internet of Things, you want to go with artificial intelligence, robotics, automation, anything. Okay, so that it will be clear for the common Python. But if you go for the artificial intelligence means to create the script for integration purpose. Okay, now where this integration takes place, for example, so here I am just bringing these three modules. So these three modules I am completely bringing into for one more technology known as IoT. Okay, now you guys will be having a question, with Java also IoT is possible, then why they are not using? But make sure Java won't be able to support for many kinds of devices. Okay, if you are taking a Raspberry Pi, so Raspberry Pi as a device, it is an IoT device. So from that machine learning and deep learning, if you are expecting in the form of a single package means, there you required a common programming language. For that we can go for Python. The same way, image processing with machine learning, no need to go with MATLAB. So directly you can approach the Python, you can provide all that machine learning process, and from that you will be able to apply this integration part. Then the same thing, if you are integrating this machine learning and deep learning with the web services, okay, the same script you can write in the Python with the different frameworks. So that's why we are choosing this Python for artificial intelligence. Now the hardware support. Till now whatever we have seen, this particular Python for artificial intelligence, only the software part, the soft side of that particular skill. Okay, once when the hardware is enabled, then only the complete AI device will be ready. For example, if I say hey Cortana, it will just detect in my system. Okay, now it say hey Siri, it will detect in my phone. If I say okay Google, it will detect in my another phone. But the base thing is the hardware is there, and along with the hardware the AI is also working. So throughout that particular process, okay, so therefore some hardware support is needed to execute this particular part. So to execute the hardware and the software part within a single section where it is called as an embedded, for that I am using the Python programming language. So with the help of a single programming, like if you are going with embedded C means you have some sort of devices like ARM7, ARM Cortex, Arduino. In Arduino itself we have many devices like a Node MCU, then PIC controller, those kind of devices and all. Inside that, if you are planning to provide this machine learning, deep learning and all means, you will be taking to deploy or to create a POC itself more than 2 years. But the same thing if you are just going for a Python with hardware means within 6 months or at maximum 6 months, I can assure 6 months, 7 months. You also require a big team size if you are going with embedded C part or C++ part. But if for Python means the team size will be smaller. And which and all hardware it is supporting for the artificial intelligence. You can start with Raspberry Pi, Zing series, BeagleBone, NVIDIA Jetson series. Jetson series means Jetson Nano, Jetson Savior. Okay, so like this, some series are providing from NVIDIA processors, and inside that NVIDIA processor itself, we can go with the CUDA. Then Intel Neural Stick provided from Intel processors. Now inside this Raspberry Pi, we can connect a USB camera and we can write the complete script of code to access the image processing, machine learning and its execution. The same section Zinc series along with the Linux portions. Okay, the same section for BeagleBone, but while compared to BeagleBone, Zinc series is much bigger because Zinc is nothing but the processor designing for artificial intelligence along with the execution parts. If you want to go for some prototypes, means it will take around of the board itself around of prototype board itself around of 20,000. Whereas if you go for NVIDIA Jetson Savior series, means the prototype board is for 50,000. Then a neural stick, so that also it is above 15k. For that we require some kind of supporting device with Raspberry Pi. Now again, for this everything, the coding part, we are coming with Python. So here we are combining hardware as well as AI with this common coding platform. So I hope now it is clear for the question, why Python for artificial intelligence over here. So if everyone is clear with this, means you can provide with the number of stars. Based on your number of stars, I will be able to understand that you have learned as easy as possible. My explanation is as clear for your requirement. Thank you, Varshini ji. So this presentation, it is dedicatedly created for you guys. Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Sakti Kannan. Thank you, Santosh Lakshman. Pujarati has provided in the form of ratings in numerical values. Happy for that. 5-star ratings. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you all. So from this, I came to understand that you guys are very much interested in learning in a particular process, and apart from that, you have understood whatever I am saying since you guys are new to this particular session. And my complete response is this. Thank you for that. Thank you all, thank you all, thank you all. Sure and fine. Kishore Kumar, regarding that particular NVIDIA, okay, it comes under a different platform. So we will also plan for that particular executions also soon. Ajaypal Singh, yes, very good question. In your laptop also you have that particular NVIDIA processor that is used for graphical processing unit. So previously everyone, it has started to use only for the gaming purpose or UI designing or high-end 3D model designing like that and all. But recently, for from 2-3 years back, everyone has started the graphical processing unit along with CUDA processing for deep learning, machine learning, and training purpose, model training purpose. Okay, fine. So I hope now everyone is clear regarding this. for the questions whatever we have been asked for. Now the next part, we have to know that what are the particular steps to follow inside the Python. Okay, to install a Python. So for that we can just go with here. So like we can just type python.org download. So therefore directly it will be going to the downloads portion. The latest version is 3.10.3. If you want any specific versions means you can go for the downloads windows. Okay. So throughout that particular sections, if you are just clicking on this exe file, like installer, 64-bit installer you can go for. So whenever if you are selecting means select for a downgraded version, not the latest. Why means for downgraded versions all the supports will be available. For latest version some supports will be pending. That's the reason. So here go for 3.8. Click on 84 executable installer, 8464, which is compatible for both 84 as well as executable section. Okay. So if you just double click on that, it will show you many options. Click on next, and finally you can install it. Now if you want to install a particular package, so here open IDLE. I am using IDLE 3.6 64-bit. So like therefore new file. Sorry. To install packages, click on open, not for the new file. So it will redirect into the Python installation folder, and from that therefore go for scripts. Okay, so therefore pip install. Pip install whatever the content you require. So if you want to install OpenCV package, OpenCV-Python. So since everything it is already available inside my system, it will show requirement already satisfied. The same way, if you want to uninstall means pip uninstall OpenCV-Python. Then it will ask the question. So here I am providing it as n. Okay, for no. If you want to uninstall means provide y for the representation of s. Okay, so this portion only, here it is the basic for installation of package for Python IDLE. Now let us start with some basic syntaxes. Okay, so this basic syntaxes, what are the purpose? We have to know only some kind of portions. So here I am just creating a new file to write a script. For single line execution you can go for the shell window, but we all are turned into a developers. So for that particular process I would like to suggest only the script portions over here. For example, now I am going to compare data. So before that, how to get a input data from the keyboard. Okay, in C++ you will be using the cin. In C you will be using scanf, like that. But here very simple, provide a variable input within bracket, enter anything. So now whatever the data it is collecting, I should be able to see. So print. That's it. Collected data, printed data. So as per C++, this is C in and C out. C out is nothing but the print, C in is nothing but input. So I have to save it somewhere. I am saving in that directory itself. I am providing the data 32. So here it has received that particular data, it has printed it over here. Okay, now this data I have to take it for the comparison purpose. Okay, so that particular comparison purpose means here I am providing as b equal to another input. I need one more data, right? Enter data 2. Data 1. If so, here we can start with if condition. If a greater than b, print a is greater else print b is greater. Okay, now I am going to provide the two data 21, 25. So here b is greater. But once if it is executed, it has stopped automatically. What is the reason? Because we have not given the condition for continuous execution. So for that we can use the while loop. Okay, now I have just made the changes. Now it executes continuously. 31, 45. So now therefore b is greater, it coming for the continuous process. So now again what I have to do, has to ask the input from me. Okay, 32, 21. So a is greater, it has started with another one. Now with this, I can say this is a simple mathematical software. Nothing but find out the largest number. Usually we used to have some basic questions in some of the basic mathematics. So that particular thing I have now turned it as a software. Now this particular thing I am providing you as a task over there. I am just providing a challenge. So those who are interested to start with the Python, so I wish everyone will be doing this. So those persons kindly take this as a challenge. So do the task as a password matching. Whenever you provide the input, it should match the password. Okay, and this password should be valid only for 3 times. If you are entering the wrong password means only for 3 times you are allowed. If you are entering the correct one, therefore it has to be executed. Okay, so this is one of the tasks, and after doing that particular task, therefore you can just share it into our community group, Pantex Facebook community, or you can tag into our LinkedIn community, so where all our internship students has been posted. They have shared their Google Drive into our community group. If you provide the request over here means we will be accepting it. Okay, so those are interested, you can do this as a task, the password authentication. The maximum time will be provided 3 times for the failure sections. Okay, so therefore, like if you just share your particular interest in the form of a task. Based on the tasks, whatever we provide, we are ready to provide you a special certification, the best task completer certificate. So those kind of certifications we are ready to provide based on your particular approach to us. Okay, so like this, we are expecting more from everyone. The task is create a password validation system. Okay, and for the wrong password, only 3 times authentication. The try should be provided only for 3 times. So this is our Facebook community. You can share your particular knowledge over here, or whatever the things you have done, or else you can tag us in pantechelearning as well as with my name Jishnu R into the LinkedIn. So there also it is completely open for everyone. This is nothing but your task 1. So I hope everyone is clear. Any doubts regarding this means you can just post it. Yeah, thank you all, thank you. Yes, if you want the recorded session, you can just log into Artificial Intelligence Masterclass onto the Pantech e-learning, pantechelearning.com. Thank you, Vishnu Prakash. Thank you, Parameshwari ma'am. Thank you, Tech Talks. Thank you, Madhuri Nalamutu. Yes, the Facebook link, here it comes. Here you can use any Python application, any Python tool. I have used ideally. There is no restrictions. Yes, the link has been posted in chat. Once again, the link will be posted in comment. Use Python ideally. I hope everyone is clear with this. So one of the interesting news which I would like to share to all these persons, AI in education. So this is a current talk whichever it is going around the world. How this particular technology will be impacting to the students. Whether the students will be able to learn as fast as possible, whether the number of teachers will be reduced, or the teachers will be able to express their content in an intelligence created way. So these kind of many things we will be able to hear over there. So in our upcoming years or upcoming decades, we will be able to see AI in education as a major part. Now we are just talking it as a particular small part. So hereafter, maybe AI in education itself will be a particular kind of course. So there are chances for that. So this is one of the news which I have read today. I hope this was more helpful for everyone. AVM, yes, you can use Jupyter if you are interested for that. Okay, fine. Okay, guys, then. So I hope like everyone is clear with today's task and today's session also. And the other thing is the question, the answer for the question. I hope everyone is clear. Why Python for artificial intelligence? So once again, I would like to conclude it. To integrate the hardware portion as well as the software portion into a single kind of scripting, which makes much more easier for execution purpose. That is the reason they are using Python programming language for artificial intelligence. Yes, Padaru Shiva, you can use PyCharm, no issues. Okay guys then, so thank you all. We'll meet you tomorrow with another one interesting topic regarding this artificial intelligence. So till then, stay safe. Okay guys then, thank you all.